everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Sir Marcy, and for today's video, I'm going to discuss the different properties of parallelograms. What is a parallelogram? It is a quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel. The parallelogram look like this. It has four vertices, and the vertices are, we have point A, okay, we have four vertices, and that is point A, we have point B, we have point S, and we have point D. It also has four angles, that is angle, we have angle A, also have angle P, angle S, and angle T. Okay, it has also four sides, namely for the sides we have segment or side 80, then we have segment TS, then we also have segment SP, and also segment PA. So this is a parallelogram which is also a quadrilateral. What are the properties of a parallelogram? The first property of a parallelogram is that opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel. So in this figure, we can say that side AB or segment AB is parallel to segment DC. Also, side AD or segment AD is parallel to segment BC. Okay, so that's how property number one is. Next, we have property number two. The opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal, meaning um, side AB here is equal to side DC. Also, side AD is equal to side BC. So take note. For example, side AB here is 13. Therefore, side DC is also 13. Okay, since based on our property, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. Next property of a parallelogram is that opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. Meaning to say, if we have angle B here, so angle B is equal to angle D, which is this one. Also, angle A, which is this one, is equal to angle C. Okay, for example, angle B, let's say, measures, this is 60 degrees. Then, we can say that angle D is also 60 degrees based on the definition or the properties of the parallelogram. Opposite angles are equal. Another property of a parallelogram is that each diagonal divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. In our figure, the diagonal we have here is diagonal BD. Okay, notice that if we place diagonal BD here, or if we connect these 2 points, these non-two consecutive vertices, we will form a diagonal, and it divides our parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So we have their triangle BAD is congruent to triangle DCB. Another thing is that if we connect these two non-consecutive vertices here, which is AC, we will also form another diagonal. That means triangle, let's say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA. That is why each diagonal divides the triangle into two congruent triangles. So we have two triangles here which are congruent to each other. Next property of a parallelogram is that consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. By definition, when we say supplementary, the sum of its angle is equal to 180. So in this figure, we conclude that angle A, let's say angle A plus angle D, that is equal to 180 degrees. Also, take note that angle D plus angle C is also equal to 180 degrees. The same with angle C plus angle B, that is also 180 degrees. And lastly, angle B plus angle A is equal to 180 degrees. So for example, if angle B measures 60 degrees again, then we know that angle A is 120 degrees. Why? Because remember that the sum of the two consecutive angles is 180. So 60 plus 120, that is 180. By applying also opposite angles are congruent, we conclude that this is 60 degrees and this is 120 since opposite angles are congruent. So 120 plus 60, that is 180. 60 plus 120, 180. 120 plus 60, that is 180. That is why in this property, it simply illustrates that the sum of the two consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. And for the last property of a parallelogram, diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So remember in our previous example, diagonals here, we have two diagonals. Diagonal AC or segment AC is perpendicular to segment BD since these two diagonals bisect each other. So that's simply AC or segment AC is perpendicular to segment BD. All right, let's now apply the properties of parallelogram in the following problem. So complete the statement about quadrilateral EFGH. Take note that quadrilateral EFGH is a parallelogram. In number 1, if EF is equal to 17, then what is the measure of GH? So this is 17. Then the measure of GH is also 17. Why 17? By applying the property of parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. Let's have example number 2. If FP is equal to 37, then what is the measure of HP? So in this case, we will apply property of parallelogram which states that diagonals bisect each other. And diagonals here form two congruent. It divides the diagonal into two congruent parts. So meaning to say, if this is 37, the measure of HP is also 37. Okay? Next, number 3. If GP is equal to 11.5, then what is the measure of EG? So take note, this is 11.5. Then what is the measure of EG, which is this one, the whole diagonal? We will still apply the property of parallelogram that states diagonals bisect each other. It form two congruent. The diagonals are divided into two congruent parts. So if this is 11.5, EP is also 11.5. So the question is, what is now the measure of EG? So the measure of EG can be solved or can be obtained by simply adding these two parts. We have EP plus PG. So 11.5 plus 11.5, the answer is 23. Okay? Also, since they are congruent, they are equal in measure, we can simply write it this way. EG is equal to twice GP. And by substitution, that's simply 2 times the measure of GP, which is 11.5. The answer is still the same. That is 23. Next, we have number 4. if EH measures Y, then what is the measure of FG? The answer is also Y. How about number 5? If HP is equal to K, so this one, HP is equal to K. What is the measure of FH? So this is also K. Then our answer is simply 2K. So we add this FP plus PH. So K plus K, that is equal to 2K. And lastly, we have number 6. If EG is X. So here to here, that is X. So what is the measure of EP? So take note that EP here is half of GE. So therefore, EP is simply X all over 2. Okay, for our last problem, we have given quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram with angle D measures 50 degrees. So first, we have to label these parallelograms. Let's say this is A, B, C, D. The measure of angle D is 50 degrees. So to find the measure of angle B, we will apply the property of parallelogram. Opposite sides are or opposite angles are congruent, meaning this also measures 50 degrees. Next, to find the measure of angle DAB, this is the same as angle A. So DAB, so this one. So A and B here, or angle A and angle B, are consecutive angles, meaning the sum of these two angles is supplementary, meaning 180. So 180 minus 50, angle A measures 130 degrees. So this is 130 degrees. For DAC, notice that it divides the angle A into two parts. So meaning, angle A now measures 130 divided by 2, that is 65 degrees. For number 4, we have angle DCB. So DCB, so this measures 130 degrees because opposite angles are congruent. So we apply the property of parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. For number 5, we have ACD. ACD. So it divides again our angle into two parts. That is why this measures 65 degree. And for number 6, we have ACB. The measure of angle ACB is equal to 65 degrees also. Okay, so that ends our lesson for today, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.